it's easy to pass on blame as we are here as Constitutional Commission and say, oh, we celebrate IBC for the work that they did, but this or the other commission didn't do their work so well. I think us as PSC also, there's a part where we missed a step. And I said to the AG today that we'll pull Wafula Chebukati aside and say, we are sorry for our contribution into part of the problems we had. Why do I say that? The IBC Act provides that PSC, that's a Parliamentary Service Commission, needs to nominate 4 members to the selection panel. And then the selection panel, of course, will pick the subsequent commissioners, just like the exercise that is about to happen. Last year, or about 2 years ago, when we had that opportunity, of course, we sat down, and you remember, for those of you that are aware about how Kenya was at that particular time, there was no difference, there was no majority and minority in parliament. Both sides were the same. Then there was another small, amorphous group, not small actually, large but unrecognized, that was largely operating around the then deputy president, now our president. So we sat down and said, how do we ensure that in nominating the selection panel to the IEBC, we have the face of Kenya and reflect both sides of the divide? And we came up with the right decision. We said, if you take it to parliament before majority and minority leaders, then they are likely to return names from only one team. The team that you then led wasn't going to be represented. Therefore, we took a wise decision and said, we are going to do it at PSC. And we closed the meeting, we prayed, and we left. Unfortunately, as was the culture back then, phone calls flew in, and we were called back to the meeting. We rescinded that decision, and we gave the opportunity to majority and minority side. As you know and understand, those were one side of the political divide. So we ended up with four members of selection panel from one side of the divide and none from the other. A long story short, those 4 actually gave birth to the infamous OPEC 4, if I may put it. Therefore, I say to the AG today, we had our own share of blame, and that probably for the trouble that you went through because of that, I take this opportunity to say we will do better. We will become like you. Even when you are tested in difficult times, I think the lesson that you have taught us is that we need to stand firm and not give the very famous excuse that we used to give the last few months and say, oh, I wanted to do the right thing, but you know, a phone call, a very powerful call came from somewhere. And I think if you had done that, Chairman Chebukati, probably wouldn't be here as a country. Therefore, thank you for teaching us how to serve our country with distinction and honor.